You ever notice how someone can sound super smart and you still don't trust them? Like, who would you rather take advice from? A buttoned up financial planner trying to sell you something, or your friend who also happens to be a finance expert? The answer seems pretty obvious. Yet, when most business owners get in front of a camera on YouTube, they can't help but to transform into stiff corporate presenters. This disconnect is costing you clients because YouTube viewers are known to be 71% more likely to follow advice from creators that they feel personally connected to. So in this video, I'm going to show you the one big change that you should be making in how you talk to your YouTube audience, how it dramatically increases trust, and I'm even going to share the exact techniques that I use to sound more real and hopefully fun on camera so you can use them to get more clients for yourself. Now, to really understand this shift, I want you to think about that one coworker or client you've had who's pretty much all business. Per my previous email and circle back are their favorite phrases. Their personality just seems vacuum sealed right out of them. But then you end up at the same after work happy hour, and suddenly Susan from accounting is a completely different person. She drops the work act, she tells hilarious stories about her weekend hiking disaster and becomes someone that you actually want to hang out with. And when we meet the real Susan, we listen more closely, we trust her advice more because we see her as a real person who actually wants to help, not just someone who's doing their job, right? The same thing happens on YouTube. Viewers connect with real people, not these polished corporate personas. Check out this financial expert.
During times of market stress or when others are constrained.
Whether this is his true personality, I don't know. Maybe he's naturally serious and he talks at a high level. Or maybe he's trying to sound professional because he thinks he has to be taken seriously. Now, contrast that with how the Money Guys channel talks about the exact same topics.
Don't know how to get your finances turned around? We want to help you.
It's casual, they're having fun, and they don't make you feel dumb for not knowing everything already. It's like you're just having a beer with them, getting really solid advice. And this matters because people watch YouTube in casual settings, in bed, during lunch breaks, not in conference rooms, So when you come at them with this formal corporate speak, it just feels out of place and it creates unnecessary distance. So why does speaking like a friend work so much better? It's because of something called the parasocial relationship, which is just a fancy way of saying that viewers start to feel like they know you even when they haven't met you before. And when that happens, they're way more likely to become clients because people hire people that they trust, not businesses, right? Look at how Ali Abdaal talks, like he's chatting with a friend over coffee, even about otherwise complex topics.
But at age 25, he was completely broke, but he managed to get mentored by this business tycoon guy called Mr. Shoaff.
He never sounds scripted, and that makes people trust him more. And there's even research that shows how minor imperfections can make you more likable. It's called the pratfall effect, and research shows that customers love it. Those occasional ums and ahs and natural speech patterns actually build more trust. They don't really damage your credibility the way some people think. So how do you actually channel your inner happy hour Susan if the boardroom is more your comfort zone? I've got some specific techniques that actually work. So first, try what I call the small group effect. A lot of YouTube advice tells you to imagine when you're talking to the camera, to imagine you're talking to just one person rather than your whole YouTube audience. And that's good advice, that can help to a degree, but I have found that can actually make you a little too quiet and low energy on camera. The camera naturally kind of sucks away about half your energy and your personality. So if you're talking like you're just having a really quiet one-on-one conversation to begin with, it can really come across as flat or boring to your viewers. Instead, I like to imagine I'm talking to a small group of people, like 3 or 4. Think about how you naturally act when you're talking to a group of friends. You're a little more animated, you use more hand gestures, your voice has more ups and downs, and you probably smile more. So that extra energy is perfect for what the camera ends up taking away. Next, use everyday language instead of business talk. Gabe Bolt is great at this. He talks about financial stuff, but he uses normal words that make it all really easy to understand.
You don't need a lot. You don't need more stuff to be happier.
He doesn't try to come across like a financial advisor. He sounds like that friend who knows about money, who's just given you some good advice over lunch. And here's how to make your own videos sound more conversational. Don't worry for even 1 second about grammar. This isn't school, and nobody's grading you. That means use contractions, don't instead of do not. It just sounds way more natural when you're talking. And feel free to start sentences with and or but if that's how you normally talk. Replace those fancy terms with everyday words whenever you can, and include phrases like actually, or basically that we all tend to use in normal conversation. And always read your script out loud as if you're just talking naturally. If it feels weird to you or sounds weird, change it before you sit down to record. The third key is warmth in your voice and body language. So even small tensions in your face or your voice can make viewers feel uncomfortable. Now, if it helps, start with your smile. It changes everything about how you sound. Even a slight, real smile warms up your voice automatically. I'm not saying you need a crazy huge smile, just enough to lift your energy up. Amy Porterfield is amazing at this.
You kind of got to figure out what you're good at, what you love, where your spot is.
Her tone's warm and friendly, and that immediately makes you feel close to her. And the ironic thing is, and she knows this because she talks about it a lot, she doesn't actually share all that much about her personal life. But even with, her boundaries up, her voice and her tone still make you feel like she's your best friend coming at you through your earbuds. Now, before I film, if someone's home, I always try to talk with someone first just to warm up my natural voice. And I also picture the camera as someone who I genuinely want to help, which naturally makes me more enthusiastic about it. Personal stories are another powerful way to connect. They show that you've been through the same stuff as your viewers, and they just prove that you're human, not just some talking head. And you don't need to share your whole life story, just sprinkle in some relevant stories that, show how you overcame the same problems that your viewers have, or reveal mistakes that you've made and what you learned from them. Share client success stories without names if you can't share those, and then give behind the scenes looks at your process. And finally, don't worry about sounding perfect. Small mistakes actually make people trust you, so it's fine to keep those occasional word fumbles or having to rephrase something. The natural ums and ahs, don't go crazy editing those out. Laughing at yourself if you misspeak or getting excited about your topic. Just edit out any major technical issues or anything that's, over the top distracting. And my most unexpected tip for coming across naturally is coming up in a minute. But if you're thinking, Wes, I can't just wing it on camera, don't worry. I actually use a teleprompter for almost every video, and it doesn't stop me from sounding natural. It just takes a little practice. Using a teleprompter gives me confidence in knowing exactly what to say. It helps me cover all my points without going off on tangents, and it lets me focus on how I'm delivering the content instead of trying to remember everything. The secret to a natural sounding teleprompter delivery is all in how you write your script. So I write it exactly how I would naturally say it, not how I'd write an email or a blog post. I write in the phrases that I would naturally use if I'm talking to someone, and I like to capitalize the words that I know that I want to emphasize so I don't have to think too hard about that in the moment. Now, if you're trying to use YouTube to get clients, you're probably more of an education channel. But I actually want you to look for inspiration in a kind of unexpected place. Entertainment channels. Sure, it's a completely different kind of video, but these guys are really good at making viewers feel included and engaged. Entertainment creators are really good at naturally talking to their audience as friends, not as students or leads, right? They use humor, personal stories, and casual language that builds trust. They're not afraid to go off script or show their real reactions. And you can still keep all of your expertise while just borrowing their approachable style. Being smart and friendly is a really powerful combination. I want you to notice how entertainment creators start their videos with energy and personality, react genuinely to their own content, use simple language even for complicated ideas, and they share their real opinions instead of just facts. This doesn't mean you need to suddenly become a comedian or completely change who you are. I think it's just more about giving yourself permission to drop the workday act and let happy hour finally start. But hey, your delivery is just part of the story. There's a lot more you need to get right. So I want to invite you to my free masterclass called How to Attract Unlimited Clients from YouTube, my 4-secret system for service providers to predictably generate leads and clients while you sleep. And this is everything you need to get your YouTube channel started and growing so that you can actually get the right people watching and then very quickly get them to start paying you real money for your services. It's crazy powerful stuff, so just click right here to save your seat and I'm gonna send you the training right away. So click here and let's dive into it.